My name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV at Spiel 2014. I'm sitting down with Juma Aljuju of Karma Games. How are you?
Very good, and you?
I'm very good. It's been a good first day, I think, so far. Well, and you've brought us, I feel like, a good inspirational game for a brighter future, which is Green Deal.
Yes, exactly. In Green Deal, 3 to 5 players plan their company. They build up an international corporation in the future, namely in 2050, and they try to build up a sustainable and profitable corporation.
Which, you know, what really could be better than that?
Exactly.
So what are we looking at if someone was coming in for their first turn?
The game runs basically in 10 rounds in several assessments, and every round goes through 4 phases.
Oh, with a lovely guide here to walk you through that.
So here we have...
Here, we'll actually just move your turn order there for a moment.
We have a short rule sheet in order to have an overview. It's basically the whole game is bilingual, so let's switch for the English version. So every turn starts with an auction, and we have wheels in order to bid on the turn order. The turn order is very important. So think of El Grande. Like it's blind bidding. So every player can bid as much cash as they currently have. At the beginning of the game, that's 20. But during the game, this can change. If one has only 5 cash, you can only bid 5 or less. Easy. So after that, after we have determined the turn order, the players will adjust their cash and obtain their income. That's basically the accounting phase. You have to pay your bid and you get your current income added to your cash. Okay. We start with 8 income, but this may change as well. So after that, we go in the investment phase is actually very important. The first player who bid most in the first phase will be the first one to choose in the investment phase. There are several cards available. Some are more attractive than others. So obviously you want to go as first or as early as possible. And we have 4 sustainability cards possible. There are environmental cards, job cards, social cards, and research cards. There are 2 action cards available that usually give like special abilities.
Okay.
And there is let's say a special action card that is there every round. In addition, players can buy PR tokens in order to boost their image at a later assessment, to do a bit of greenwashing. And players can also pay dividends to their shareholders to make them happy. You want to make everyone happy.
Oh, wow. Goes without saying.
Exactly. So players go through the investment phase in the respective turn order, and after that we come to the expansion phase. Only players who invested in the sustainability cards, they can place corresponding tiles on the world map. So for instance, if you bought this project, it has the size 1, this research project, so you will take the corresponding tile and place it on the world map with your token. The world map is very interesting because on the world map, players can cooperate with each other and compete with each other. So for instance, let's say another player were here, and this player would take another research card next round and place it adjacent to himself. Okay. This is how you play. You basically expand geographically. And he places this tile orthogonally adjacent to the black player. And then this player can basically form a research joint venture to cooperate with this other player, and they create synergies. And because of that, their income increases by the average.
So the average between this is value of 1 and value of 2, so the average is still
is 1.5. In that case, you round down. So both players would go up by 1 on the income chart. But if this player would be mean and compete with this player, let's say it's SAP and Oracle, patent lawsuit. Then the stronger player would gain one income and the other one would lose one income. So here you can basically forge alliances, you can make threats, you can tell the exchange promises, let's say, please cooperate with me, next time I will also cooperate with you, or the other way around. If you compete with me, I'm gonna kick your ass later on. These kind of things.
So there's a lot of table talk during
exactly.
that.
So, and another thing about it is, it affects the income a lot. The cards themselves, they rather tend to decrease the income, especially the expensive cards that give a lot of victory points. They decrease the income a lot.
Which makes sense. A big project is going to cost
exactly
a lot of money.
Carrying costs. But the big projects also offer more opportunities to cooperate and compete on the world map and gain an extra of income. The cheap projects, in contrast, they give immediate income, but they make you vulnerable to competition. So you may lose that again.
Pretty weak position.
Exactly. So this means the world map is basically crucial in assessing the financial attractiveness of a card. So a card may be very attractive for one player because he can place it in a very good spot, and it can be less attractive for another player who has no opportunity to cooperate or compete with that tile. So this makes, this is basically very interwoven, this mechanism.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, this is basically about it. I mean, the action cards, they also let you do immoral things. Let's say you can bribe. So in all ties, in auction, PR, and company valuation, you win. It's a bit immoral, so you lose victory points, but it's pretty damn good card. Or you can do industrial spying and so on and so on. Some cards give you immediate effect, some cards give you an effect that you can trigger at some point in the game, some cards give you an eternal effect, and some cards give you points in the end of the game.
And I'm guessing by your player aid here that I can either take one of these 4 development areas or
exactly
go for the purple special value cards.
Exactly. As you can see in the short rule, you can either take a sustainability card or an action card. In addition to an action card, you can actually take a loan to be a bit more liquid, but you have to pay interest, so you have to pay a bit more. And if you don't, you get a big penalty and victory points.
That's for sure.
But it's really worth it to take it usually if you need some money. And it also allows players to come back after when they are a bit behind. And in addition to all these cards, you can always buy PR tokens as long as they're available. There are only 9 PR tokens. And dividends you can do always. About the dividends, I mean, the cheaper, the poorer you are, the less dividends you gotta pay, and the better the ratio.
Makes sense. Now I'm guessing it seems like there are points in our 10
exactly
rounds here where we're going to do a little in-game scoring.
Exactly. So basically, the first assessment is the PR assessment after the 4th round. It's about the image. So I mean, we don't only want to be sustainable; we also want to look sustainable. Sometimes even more than being sustainable. So let's say this is a position. Black is a bit greener than white, but white may have bought a PR token. And well, let's actually do it interactive. You also get a token. You're black, I'm white. Okay. And in PR assessment, all players who have these tokens, they can place them on the categories in order to boost their image. So we do this by covering with our hand, either in green or blue now. Okay. Perfect. This is what I wanted.
All right.
1, 2, 3. So I basically made a PR campaign to tell the public that I'm a very green company, a bit of greenwashing, and you told them you're an awesome employer.
Yay, jobs.
Yeah. Objectively, you're greener than me, but my image is better than yours. So I get 8 points, and you only get 4 points in this assessment for this category. Whereas here, your PR token was a bit wasted because you only, I mean, being first is the same, you know, it didn't change the ranking in that case. So with 3 to 5 players in different allocation of tokens. This can be quite interesting and a bit bluffing, taking risks, and so on. So after that, this is only temporary. So after that, our image token is replaced.
And I'm guessing our PR goes away.
Exactly. So now we go to the sustainability assessment. It's after the 6th and after the 10th round. Here, we actually, we develop in this project as we buy cards, always by the size.
The amount, yeah.
So let's take black here. Black is quite good in these 3 categories, but he is not as good in environment. So in this category, you actually get points for your weakest category.
Which very nicely stated right there.
Yeah, in both languages. So this means black would gain only 4 points. So you try to develop a balanced portfolio.
I was going to say the bonuses for having...
Exactly, they can be quite high.
Yeah.
So let's say white achieves this portfolio. So white's weakest category is jobs, and he would gain 18 points. So this can make quite a lot of difference. But it's not as easy as it looks like, because other players know that black needs an environmental project, and they can steal that project. So he cannot, in order to harm him. So in PR, you try to be high in a category. In sustainability, you try to be balanced. So these are a bit contradictory. And then here, you get points for some action cards that give you special points. I don't know, some cards give you some special points depending on your position. I mean, here you get extra points if you hit the level 9 in a category.
Oh, okay. And then our final scoring category.
Yeah, is company valuation. Investors, even in 2050, investors are only interested in profit. Let's face it, the world is not going to change that much. So basically, players get 12, 8, and 4 points for having the best income. So that also makes competition a bit more interesting in here, because that way you can still catch up with the player and
Yeah, and it helps balance out. Do I cooperate or do I compete against you?
Yeah, also to a bit for the balancing, so you can play a bit against the leader.
Now, you mentioned this was up to 5 players. How long would a full 5-player game take you?
I'd say 20 to 30 minutes. 30 minutes if people rather think a lot and if they're new to the game. But if players are familiar with the game, it can take about like 90 minutes, 100 minutes approximately. Yeah.
So still pretty fast for 5 players.
Yeah, because you have several simultaneous actions. You have the auction, the PR works simultaneously, and in the end you have many decisions that you have some decisions that are very crucial. I mean, they have a huge impact. There are no decisions that don't matter here, but you don't have like a gazillion of choices. So that's why usually it doesn't take very long to basically make up your mind, and that's why the downtime isn't that too long.
Well, here I'm going to grab the box cover so people can take a look at it. And so, Juma, thank you so much for bringing us your game, Green Deal.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to post the game and to explain it to Board Game Geek. Thank you very much.